Well, welcome back to the Unapologetic podcast. My name is Brandt Merritt. I'm flying solo as a host today, but I've got an awesome guest with us. Jonathan is out of town for a few weeks, and so I'm going to pull in some really cool guests with us to join. And today it's Dr. Mike Methvin. Mike, welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, Brandt. I'm excited to be on the podcast.
And we'll get into a lot of who you are and what you do, but just high level, what's your role here in town?
Yeah, so I serve as superintendent of schools here with Bolivar Schools. This is my second year in the role.
Gosh, is it only two?
It's
It
only
seems
2
like,
years.
yeah, I'm sure for you it felt like longer than that, but yeah, even for us. Okay.
Well, yeah, so we're wrapping up our second year, and it's been a busy couple of years, but exciting times, and it was a really great opportunity for me to come back home to Bolivar and my second stint with the district.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll walk through all the stints because you've been a staple of Southwest Missouri K-12 education for a while, but I always like to do a little icebreaker. So since you're an educator,
Yes.
I'm working education. What was your favorite subject in school? And I didn't really qualify it as like elementary, middle, or high school. So you can pick. That's up to you. But did you have a favorite subject when you were a student?
So, I was kind of a math guy growing up. And actually initially in high school, I was kind of thinking going the engineering route.
Okay.
Both my parents were teachers and thought I was going to do something different. But as we got closer, decided to go a different route. But I like math, but honestly, probably my favorite was history. Like I'm a kind of a history buff. I love seeing the how the past has impacted our present and future. And I think certainly in this role as a superintendent, we have to pay close attention to what our past has laid out for us so we can make good decisions as we look ahead. But math and social studies, two very different subject areas, but those were two areas that were most impactful for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Government, I loved government classes. I had good teachers in government in high school, so that made it easier. I enjoyed history, but it was just a lot of memorization. I feel like all the time memorizing dates and world leaders. And our oldest daughter is doing the History Bowl this week, this Thursday. So she's been going through all the history topics. And
she's ready to buzz in.
So I didn't know how they did it. I did E-Team in high school. So I don't, like you mentioned before we were talking that you taught business. So E-Team, we would do like buzz in. You got your 5 people at your table, and whoever buzzes against your other schools gets to do it. Apparently this one, you're writing answers at your table and you just get scored at the end.
Yes.
So it's a little less pressure.
Yes. A little lower intensity level and just get to kind of calmly find your responses. And
so we're looking forward to seeing how she's excited for that one for sure.
I'm excited for her. Yeah. Absolutely.
We want Bolivar Schools to do
That's
well.
right.
So.
Go Liberators.
Absolutely. So superintendent of Bolivar Schools now, but as you mentioned, second stint here, and you've been at multiple districts and schools around here. So would love if you just kind of maybe started, how did you get into education? Where have you been and the different roles that you've had, and what brought you to this point that you're at now?
Yeah, I mentioned that both of my parents were teachers. And so education for me was actually a second career. So when I went for my undergraduate work, I was pursuing corporate communications degree. Okay. Actually lived on the East Coast. And upon graduation, I worked for a large advertising agency for about a year and then spent a couple of years working for the Boston Red Sox in their marketing department. And I met my wife, and we wanted to come back to this part of the country and raise a family in Southwest Missouri. Boston is a fun city, but not really where we wanted to raise a family.
Different.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah.
So when we came back to Southwest Missouri, we landed in Springfield, and I worked for KSPR for a year as I was pursuing my alternative certification in teaching through another university. And so got my certification in teaching, and my wife had graduated with her English degree, and we both went that same route and got certified. And then I was hired at Halfway High School teaching business. And so Halfway is a small district, and so I got an opportunity to wear lots of different hats, and teach a wide range of subject areas, and got to coach basketball. My wife coached the girls basketball, and served as athletic director as well. And so, it was a fun time, and spent 4 years at Halfway before actually coming to Bolivar as an assistant principal at the middle school. And
it's a pretty quick jump into administration.
Yeah. It was a quick jump, and actually the principal at Halfway High School also came over to Bolivar. They had an opening for the lead principal and the assistant principal at the same time. And so Halfway's current principal was going back to Bolivar. He had been a math teacher there, and I came over with him as the assistant principal. And so we both came back together, and actually I was there for 7 years as an assistant principal. And my wife served as a librarian. And then an opportunity opened up just south of town in Pleasant Hope, and I spent 5 years as the elementary principal in Pleasant Hope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a fun time too, and my children were starting their educational career. I had a kindergarten and a second grader at the time, and they came to school with me. And then from there, after 5 years, I spent the next 6 years with Springfield Public Schools, and I began as the elementary director, supporting 35 elementary schools. And that was an interesting transition from Pleasant Hope to SPS.
I mean, there's so small districts. I mean, when we say district, it's like elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Right.
I'm used to Florida.
Yeah.
Our counties are all the districts.
Yes.
And so you would have the school board would have had, and this setup, Bolivar, Pleasant, would all be in one district. So to go from these sort of, I don't want to say mini districts, but they're just smaller to Springfield. I mean, that's night and day, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity and a chance to work with a large number of leaders and see what different buildings were doing that were being successful. Yeah. The last 2 years, I served as executive director of the middle school division, so I oversaw the middle schools, and there are 10 middle schools in Springfield. And again, just a great chance to support a strong group of educators and learn as well, as I was working through that. And so those are all different pieces that I bring to my current role and bring back home to Bolivar, and to get to serve as superintendent in this district, and a phenomenal school district with a great tradition of excellence, and to get to sit in that seat has been a great opportunity, and a lot of exciting things happening certainly across the district.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm a newbie, obviously. We moved in 23. And so at that time, Dr. Asbill was the superintendent. And I remember when the position opened up, anyone who I know who's had kids in the district, I'm just kind of asking like, okay, what's the search like? Who are the candidates? And then when your name was brought forward as the superintendent, just the almost, unanimous positive feelings that I would hear from people who've lived here for a while and remember you from high school and just have known you in the region. Some of our faculty that you've been part of programs here was just really excited for you coming in. So I'm sure you felt that, even just friends and family, of the excitement of you coming into the position too.
Man, I mean, to have the opportunity to come back home and at a district that you already served in another capacity in, and for them to want you to come back and help lead the district in this next chapter was certainly a very humbling experience. And honestly, I pinch myself every day that I get to lead Bolivar schools and serve in the community that I live and love, and that my kids go to school at. It's a great community. And I think obviously as you have settled in Bolivar and coming from Florida, I'm sure seeing all the snow outside is not what you had bargained for.
Well, I mean, so Mizzou, I had a little bit of experience my 4 years there. But yeah, it doesn't snow up here as much as people would think, even in Columbia. So when you get it, it's still kind of like, oh yeah, there's.
It's supposed to be gone within 2 or 3 days.
No, not this one. This one's taking a while to melt.
Part of why I left Boston.
Right.
But yeah, to be back home, just an awesome opportunity for sure. Yeah.
So to get from teacher to administrator, there's some hoops you have to go through, but to be administrator to superintendent is a different level. When did you sort of decide that was a pathway you wanted to go for? And then I know one of the pieces you have to do to get there is specialist program, getting your doctorate, and part of that you did here at SBU on the specialist side. So kind of two-part, when did you feel like that was the pathway you wanted to go down? And then what are some things you picked up even in studying that's like, oh yeah, this affirms what I want to do?
I think I knew pretty early that I wanted to, if the opportunity presented itself, the right opportunity, that I would be interested in serving in a district leadership capacity and eventually as a superintendent. I was not in a rush. Obviously, I spent 7 years at Bolivar Middle School as an assistant principal. I loved what I was doing. But when the right door opens up, I feel like, you've got there's a reason for those things why they happen. I think you need to listen. And I was very fortunate that my path, though it was kind of a unique path, I was able to. I've lived in Bolivar for 20 years, and those professional changes did not require me to have to move. So my family and I were able to stay here in Polk County and continue to live in the community that we love. And so on the academic side, obviously we had to pursue the credentials, and I was very fortunate right here in our backyard at Southwest Baptist University to be able to pursue my specialist degree, which was attaining the superintendent certification. And it was an amazing program. Obviously, all of the practical application piece, but also just knowing that you had instructors, professors that were focused on going beyond the practical logistics, checking all the boxes and finances and the HR side of things, but also a values-centered approach, which, certainly in my heart, that was a very important part of the equation, and as a leader, helped us to be well-rounded. And as we looked ahead through that lens of making sure that we had a very strong moral compass and value-centered approach.
Yeah. Well, that's the region's blessed with a number of, faith-based, values-important programs, ours, Evangel, others that produce teachers and administrators throughout the region that kind of have that foundation. I mean, when we came and were looking at different schools, and we met with, at the time it was Principal Love at the intermediate school before he went to Columbia, Jeff City.
Yes.
We also went to Polk County Christian, and so we're trying to figure out, okay, what's the right fit? And we were just really impressed with like the number of teachers we could tell already at Bolivar who had come to SBU or who just considered more than just being a good teacher. They have a heart for serving, and they're doing it from a foundation that, if it's not Christian for all of them, which it is for, I think, a lot of them, it's at least from a pretty strong moral compass to what you said, and was really encouraging. And we saw that from day one on our first visit. So that just gives us a lot of encouragement for the system.
It's amazing how many folks have come to Bolivar because of SBU and then stayed because of the community. And I think that's, as you visit with teachers in the Bolivar school system, I think you'll find just a strong sense of community and caring for their fellow man. I think that's certainly, you can't fake that. And that's part of what makes Bolivar a special place to be.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things I wanted to pick your brain about a little bit, and it ties into some of the things that we face on the higher education side. I mean, the whole environment of education is shifting. Technology changes. COVID was a huge disruption, but demographic changes are another big thing. We talk a lot on the higher ed side about there's an enrollment cliff of there's just going to be fewer students in the population of a college age to attend colleges. So that's going to be fewer students on campuses, and that has real impacts to budgets and campus size and strategic plans. But to get to that and all these things that are impacting us, they start at the K through 12 level. I mean, fewer students working through those pipelines end up here. Technology changes all impact you guys too. So when you have your, sleepless nights of things that are, keeping you up, but what are the big challenges that are not just facing Bolivar schools, but even K through 12 in general? Yeah.
Well, to your point, obviously the demographic shifts are happening, and it's not unique to higher ed. It's not unique to private schools.
Right.
The public K-12 sector is feeling the same thing. And really, in my previous district at SPS, our enrollment was down from 25,000 to 24,000.
Mm-hmm.
And when you lose 1,000 students, that's certainly get your attention. Bolivar School's in a similar situation, with enrollment, it's kind of plateaued. And really what the demographic study showed was that we have just birth rates across the state and across the country have fallen off.
Diminished, yep.
And so if birth rates are down, then certainly our enrollment is going to be down to align with that. And so those are adjustments that we have to make. And from a funding standpoint, obviously the state budget is being impacted. And so we have to navigate that with increasing, tight budgets. And obviously as a public school entity, we're funded based upon the number of students as well. And so we have to be cognizant of that and make sure that we're being good stewards of the resources that we are allotted. But budgets are really just one piece. I think you mentioned a little bit about the changes to technology and obviously the career paths look different now. And, and at Bolivar schools, we want to make sure that every student is set up for success and that we are setting them up when they leave our school district to take the next step in providing for themselves and their family and giving back to the community. Mm-hmm. And that may be going on to pursue, a nursing degree at a 4-year college. It may be pursuing a 2-year degree, or it may be going straight from high school into the workforce.
Right.
But I think that's the challenge, another big challenge on top of the big changes to technology, and that technology is integrating into every possible career path. Making sure that we are evolving and continuing to provide students with opportunities to find their passion and find a career path that will contribute to the community and help them set themselves up for success.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing, I didn't think about this till we were talking now. So it was funny. Polk County, Florida is where I'm from. Polk County, Missouri is where I am now. So Polk County, Florida is right next to Tampa, and Tampa is Hillsborough County. And teacher shortages, teacher competition is something that's just rampant in Florida. But I assume that's even something you guys face too. So when you think about, from a district perspective, the things you're trying to do to recruit teachers, not just students, but recruit teachers, retain, train, build that strong community. What are some of the things that have come across your desk on that already?
Yeah, we are no different than every other school district that we're trying to recruit the best quality staff that we can. And we have a phenomenal group of teachers in our district. And part of that means we're also recruiting our current staff to retain them as well. And so certainly one piece of the equation is the salary schedule and making sure that we're competitive with our peers, and not just here in Polk County, but also around the Springfield metro area. And that we've got great benefits, but also promoting just what a great place Bolivar is to raise a family and to live, and work and play right here in Bolivar. So that is part of our work, is to make sure that we message that and that we continue to recruit our current existing staff, but create pipelines for future teachers as well. And that's part of where, we talk about lots of different pathways. We've got a recent graduate who was our first apprenticeship finalist. She went through the 2,000 hours of apprenticeship through the Early Childhood Center, our ECLC building, and is now serving as a paraprofessional in that building.
Okay.
And with an eye towards possibly taking the next step towards getting her certification, which she's a perfect example of a student that would be a nice fit at an SBU to be able to continue her education and become certified as a teacher while she's working as a paraprofessional. And that's part of through our BOMO Works program, which
that's a great program. I've been very impressed with that, which is Now, remind me who's driving it, because there's
Ashley Clift.
Okay, Ashley
is,
Clift.
yes, the director of that program at the high school. And she does a phenomenal job of connecting students with businesses and getting them real world experience.
Yeah.
And in this particular scenario, as someone who wanted to be an educator, Bolivar Schools was the connection.
Get your own student.
Right.
Yeah.
And so and we've got lots of great businesses in town. And a big part of our work is to make sure that we're providing our community with the workforce that they need to thrive. And with, obviously SBU is its own microcosm of lots of different job opportunities and career paths. CMH as the largest employer in the district, or in the community, huge healthcare opportunities for our students, which is great. When we surveyed our students, we actually 22% of our high school students are interested in a healthcare or human resources type of
and that
career
was the
path.
top
That was the top
Yeah,
area. And
interesting.
obviously, we have, as a district, got some great recognition from the state for serving. Actually, 45% of all certified nurses assistant certifications came through Bolivar High School. And that has everything to do with this great partnership with CMH.
Yep.
And they want to get young people in the building and find that talent that they can level up and invest in and help them to become strong members of their team.
Yeah.
And so that's, for us, it's no different for us as a district. We're looking to find those young people that are interested in education and have an opportunity to one day serve as a teacher in the district. And right here in Bolivar. We want to keep our talent here, for sure.
I know I need to get with the BOMO Works folks and get us on the list for like a marketing intern and someone to help in our missions office. And we've had those conversations already. So it's a great program for everyone to take advantage of.
More opportunities for us to continue to invest and build those connections, for sure.
So BOMO Works, for sure, you guys have some expansion construction projects happening on your campuses. What are some of the big things you're looking at for this next coming year?
Yeah, so you referenced, we've got several construction projects that we're wrapping up this semester. Back in April of 2024, we had a no tax increase bond issue that was passed, which allowed us to open up a brand new ag science building. And we have actually begun to move into that building and started having some classes over there. We've also added 4 classrooms to the intermediate school, some restroom space. Our Bolivar Extension School, which serves some of our special education students, our most high need students, received some additional much needed square footage over there as well. And then some fun stuff, some playgrounds at the intermediate and primary, which were big hits with our students. And so we are finalizing those projects right now. And then a separate project, actually, which was funded through Governor Mike Parsons' final budget, is at the Early Childhood Learning Center. And so we're excited about that. We're adding new classroom space there for our youngest learners. And it also goes back to that BOMO Works opportunity to get some hands-on experience with students working with the early childhood education career path as well. And that's something that we're working with SBU and OTC as we continue to build an opportunity for a Bolivar student to pursue that pathway and go all the way through to eventually having a bachelor's degree in education right here in Bolivar. And so that's an exciting opportunity for our students as well. But we are wrapping up some big construction projects and we'll be excited to be able to have some ribbon cuttings in the fall.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And then I was going to transition to college prep in general, but part of that is you as a dad with kids going to college, but you also have younger as well. And this is the last year, I think, probably for both of us for the daddy-daughter dance.
Right.
Is that right?
It's coming up. Is it next week?
Next
coming up
week.
soon.
Yeah, next Thursday. So I know it's my youngest coming through in years 2. One more daddy-daughter dance. That's
break out. I was having that conversation with my youngest today. It was like, this is the last daddy-daughter dance coming up. She kind of rolled her eyes. But
Yeah. So
you and I, we know
know.
the significance.
We can cry in a corner
That's right.
together. So our church back home, actually, we did daddy-daughter dance up until, I think, high school. They could still come.
Yes,
but
yes.
don't have that.
I tell
that
you
here.
what, it's a special moment.
Yeah,
for sure. And it's fun. They do a great job with it. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing some of your
we'll do some dance moves and figure out what to wear. That's the hardest thing.
That is,
because last year was a pretty specific theme.
Yes.
Wizard of Oz with Wicked was out.
That's right.
I feel like so this year they're doing Taylor Swift eras.
Oh man!
But there's like 5 eras that you can pick from.
That opens up some possibilities.
Yeah, we'll find something.
Yeah.
So college pathways, and we'll talk about you as a parent walking through that is one thing, but just in general, you mentioned a little bit some of the things that that Bolivar schools are already doing with healthcare and BOMO works, but the whole landscape of that has changed. I think the expectations on K through 12 schools have elevated of career preparation in particular, and college preparation is part of that. So as you think through anything we haven't touched on yet on the emphasis you guys are putting on trying to find pathways for students to do the next thing, how has that changed, and what are some of the ways you're trying to be innovative on that?
Yeah, well, the BOMO Works program obviously is kind of the heart of the opportunity for students to get some hands-on experience. And I think one of the things, myself as an example of someone who pursued a career path and then went a different direction.
Yeah.
And the more that we can provide students with an opportunity to actually sit in that seat and try it on for size a little bit, the more I feel like we're going to give kids an opportunity to find their passion. And obviously we know that career change is inevitable and is a common pathway for folks as they go through their career. But the more opportunities that we can create for students to get exposure, and I think that's where we sometimes fall short as a public education system, is not getting kids enough exposure to the different opportunities that are out in front of them and the different pathways, because it continues to evolve. There's lots of different ways that you can land in a high-paying job, and there's not just one pathway that there used to be.
Right.
So helping students to have a thorough understanding of that, and building partnerships here in our community. We've got whether it's SBU or Citizens Memorial Hospital or Duck Creek with technology. We've got automotive pathways. There are a lot of opportunities right here in our backyard to get students exposure. And I think for us, really, the next step is we've built a pretty strong framework at the high school. Is how do we then level that up at the middle school level and create earlier opportunities for students to get just an introduction to the different pathways, so that then when they get to the high school and they're looking at, all right, now it's time for me to actually get some apprenticeship hours or pursue some hands-on experience. They've already seen 3 or 4 different career paths that were of interest to them and have kind of narrowed it down maybe to a couple that they would like to move forward. So for us, I think that's kind of a next step, is how do we continue to increase some of that career pathway education at the middle school level and get students at grades 6, 7, and 8 thinking about, again, how the work that they're doing every day in the classroom applies to a career, which makes the learning more real world learning opportunities, and opens our eyes to right here in our backyard. Here's all the different opportunities that are here that we can jump in and have a great career with if we decide to move forward with that.
Yeah. Well, not every path, to your point, you already mentioned, requires a 4-year degree, as it used to in a lot of more cases probably was assumed that it did. But that's still a path that a lot of students need to take depending on what they want to do, or that a lot just want still the experience. And so as you work on college prep within the school setting, what are some of the ways that engagement has changed? You've got, us and every other dozens of schools knocking at the doors trying to make a pitch to students, but you're trying to create the right environment for them to be wise in making those decisions. What are some ways you guys have worked to do that at the college choice level?
I feel like making sure that we get those universities in the door, and create opportunities for students to understand what what offerings are available to them, but then getting students on campus. I think that getting, whether it's different organizations and clubs that we have doing activities and events here at SBU, that's a great chance for someone that maybe otherwise might not have thought that college was for them. Once they get on campus and see some of what the culture and what it looks like and feels like to be at a university like SBU, may spark some interest. I know for my own, as a parent, I've gone through this twice with my two oldest, and one is, took advantage of the A+ scholarship opportunity, and then now is wrapping up his second year of that, and is thinking, all right, so where do I finish up this 4-year degree? And then I've got one that's a high school senior and is going through that same journey and trying to figure out what's right for her. And I'll be lying if I, as a dad, I didn't say I was excited to know that they're both going to be Bearcats. And
I was excited too, for the record.
But So they have landed on going to SBU, and I think as a parent, you want to find, you hope that your child finds a place where they feel valued, they feel known and plugged into a family, a community, but they're also going to be challenged to grow and to improve themselves and become the best version of themselves. And so that's no different than what we want to accomplish at Bolivar schools, is as students come in as preschool students all the way through their senior year, that they know that they're cared for, and that we know who they are, and we know their families, and that they're part of that. In Bolivar, it's that one Liberator community, but we're going to challenge them as well to continue to grow and be themselves. And I'm excited that my two oldest students have found that at SBU, and look forward to taking that next step in their journey next fall.
Well, and they're either, I want to just say they're like part of a sort of movement or focus that we've had. But when I got here 3 years ago, it was pretty clear SBU and Bolivar schools were just not as close as they had been. When I look back at some numbers, Darren Crowder is a good friend of yours and mine too. So we start to compare notes of 5-10 years ago, there'd be 30 to 40 students from Bolivar applying to SBU. Now, not all of them are going to come, but just showing the interest in applying, and through some leadership changes and COVID and staff changes and faculty changes and relationships with the school got frayed a little bit with the school district, and we didn't have as many students applying. I mean, 3 years ago, it was 10 to 12 down from 30 to 40. And so we've done a lot of very intentional just relationship building from our end. And I think it's been reciprocal on the Bolivar side. I mean, I think we're trying to spend a lot of time together, trying to be innovative on how we can serve students. And I think that work is starting to pay off, and we're starting to have, and we're aware we're not going to get every Bolivar graduating senior to come to SBU. It's just not realistic or going to happen. There's too many good options out there and too many different pathways. But if they're considering a school like SBU, we want them to consider SBU too. And I think we're starting to get that back a little bit. And,
I agree. I think that, the work that you've done, and certainly Dr. Melson has been a great proponent of wanting to have a good relationship with Bolivar schools and getting us in the room together to talk through how we can support each other and ultimately support the community of Bolivar and Greater Polk County. And I think that we know when SBU is a strong SBU is good for our community and good for Bolivar schools and vice versa. And so I sure appreciate, again, the work that Dr. Melson has done to try and get us in the room and build partnerships, and the work that you've done, and Leon Worth and Jonathan Woodyard and Darren Crowder. Just there's been I agree, there's been an intentional effort for us to, how do we just make sure that we have a strong relationship. And I think most recently, a great example of that is the scholarship, the $2,000 scholarship for
the local grant that we have,
which certainly is a great incentive for students to, if they're on the cusp of determining whether is this something that is right for me, or if the financial component as a part of the equation, certainly something that can help maybe be a determining factor. But values, Bolivar, local students coming to SBU. And so
and if nothing else, just put it on paper that, hey, we do value the students here. And even if it's not, going to be the tip over piece for everybody, hopefully they're at least like, okay, they care, they're making an effort, which we do. I mean, we absolutely care and want it to work, and vice versa. A good, strong Bolivar school district is good for us because that's more places for our student teachers to be able to plug in, for our students that are here to have things to go do. Go watch a football game on Friday night, and then come back and watch a game on Saturday, and watch a homecoming parade on Friday and another one on Saturday.
Yeah, I think last year we fell on the same weekend, right? And actually had co-branded tickets.
That's right.
We sold.
We did.
It was
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
good.
Well, I don't know. I think we covered a lot of ground. Super excited to have you here in the seat that you're in, and just selfishly as a dad of kids in the school district, knowing that there's good leadership with commitment to doing things the right way with a good foundation. So we've been thrilled with the Bolivar student experience, and the responsibility is on us to make sure your kids have a good experience here at SBU.
I am excited for them and for your kiddos, and appreciate the way that we've continued to work together and continue to build a strong partnership, and looking forward to hearing about a great Quiz Bowl results here before too long.
Me too. Yeah, hopefully she gets some answers in there.
That's fantastic.
Good. Well, Dr. Methvin, thank you for all you're doing and for joining us today, and we'll look for more ways to get some Bolivar Schools folks on with us.
Sounds great. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
Go Pats.
Thank you. Go Pats.
No. Go
like
Cats. Go Cats.
See, I thought you were still a Patriots
well,
fan for the Super Bowl.
All right. So
you
I'm
threw
glad
me off there.
Yeah. Thanks for not mentioning the Tampa Bay Lightning Bruins game.
That was fun last night. I watched that.
Yeah, it is Go Pats, but
you were saying Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Okay.
That's right.
I like Go Cats.
That's right.
Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll be back with some more good episodes coming up.